Certainly. Here is part 1 of the podcast script based on your detailed prompt. As the soft morning light filters through the curtains, Mrs. Thompson sits quietly by her window, gazing at the world outside. At 72, she had always been active, but lately, a creeping fatigue and unexplained thirst have shadowed her days. Her joints ache more than they used to, but she brushes it off as just getting old. What she doesn't realize is that these subtle changes are whispers from her bodily signals of a deeper health concern quietly unfolding. TYP to diabetes. Diabetes is often misunderstood as a sudden, dramatic illness, but in truth, it often creeps in gradually, especially among older adults. This slow progression can mask the severity of the condition until complications become severe. The early signs are frequently overlooked or attributed to normal aging, but recognizing them is crucial for prevention and effective management. One of the key biological processes behind diabetes and other chronic diseases in the elderly is what scientists call inflammaging. This term describes the low-grade, chronic inflammation that develops as we age, subtly undermining cellular function and metabolic health. Inflammaging contributes to insulin resistance, the hallmark of type 2 diabetes, by interfering with how cells respond to insulin, the hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar levels. Alongside inflammaging, another vital concept is neuroplasticity, brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself. While neuroplasticity diminishes with age, it does not disappear entirely, offering hope for cognitive and metabolic health even after 70. Maintaining a balanced diet and healthy lifestyle can support this adaptability and help mitigate diabetes' cognitive impacts. Another factor closely linked to diabetes is oxidative stress. This occurs when free radicals, unstable molecules produced by normal metabolic processes, or external factors like pollution or virulum, the body's antioxidants. Oxidative stress damages cells, including pancreatic beta cells responsible for insulin production, impairing glucose regulation. Antioxidants, found abundantly in colorful fruits and vegetables, play a protective role by neutralizing free radicals. Dr. Andrew Weil, a pioneer in integrative medicine, emphasizes in his book Healthy Aging the importance of a diet rich in antioxidants to combat oxidative stress and inflammaging, thereby reducing diabetes risk. For older adults like Mrs. Thompson, everyday habits can either accelerate or slow this decline. Diets high in processed meats, refined sugars, and unhealthy fats fuel inflammation and oxidative damage. Conversely, embracing whole foods, regular physical activity, and stress management can support metabolic health and maintain vitality. Consider this. Have you ever paused to listen to your body's subtle signals: the persistent fatigue, the frequent thirst, the slow healing wounds? Could these be quiet cries for help, signaling that something beneath the surface demands your attention? As we embark on this journey through the early signs of health decline, let's open the door to understanding these silent messages and explore how awareness, healing, and inner renewal can transform aging into a graceful, empowered chapter of life. Certainly. Here is part 2 of the podcast script following the same style and structure. Mrs. Garcia, a 75-year-old retired teacher, used to cherish her evening walks in the park. Lately, however, she finds herself short of breath after just a few minutes, her chest feeling tight, and her legs heavy. She wonders if it's simply age catching up or something more concerning. What she's experiencing may be an early sign of cardiovascular decline, a common, yet often overlooked issue in older adults. The heart and blood vessels, like all organs, are not immune to the effects of aging. A key player in this process is oxidative stress, which we touched on earlier, that damages the lining of blood vessels and impairs their ability to dilate and contract properly. Over time, this can lead to atherosclerosis, a buildup of plaques that narrow arteries and reduce blood flow, increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Inflammaging again plays a silent role here, as chronic inflammation promotes plaque formation and destabilization. It's a vicious cycle where inflammation and oxidative stress feed each other, accelerating cardiovascular damage. Neuroplasticity also has an interesting role to play. The autonomic nervous system, which controls heart rate and blood pressure, relies on neuroplasticity to adapt to changes and stressors. But with age and declining neuroplasticity, this system becomes less flexible, making it harder for the heart to respond to challenges effectively. Dr. Andrew Weil highlights in Healthy Aging that lifestyle choices profoundly impact cardiovascular health. Diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids, found in fish and flax seeds, can reduce inflammation and support vessel health. Meanwhile, minimizing intake of processed meats and trans fats lowers cardiovascular risk. Let's also consider the subtle psychological signals. Fatigue and shortness of breath may not only be physical, but also linked to anxiety and depression, which themselves can exacerbate cardiovascular problems. Understanding this mind-body connection is crucial for holistic healing. Mrs. Garcia's story reminds us that the heart's whispers can easily be mistaken for mere tiredness. But when your chest feels tight, or you find yourself unusually breathless, it's worth listening closely. Are these not the soft knocks at the door of your health, asking you to pause and care for your heart? As we continue, we'll explore another early sign of decline that often goes unnoticed, but profoundly affects the quality of life in older adults. Certainly. Here is part 3 of the podcast script following the same style and tone. Imagine Mr. Thompson, a 72-year-old retired engineer, who has recently found himself struggling to remember names, misplacing keys, and feeling unusually foggy during conversations. Once sharp and quick-witted, he wonders if this is simply the normal aging process or something more alarming. What Mr. Thompson is experiencing may be an early sign of cognitive decline issue that touches many older adults, but is often misunderstood. Cognitive health after 70 hinges on a delicate balance of neuroplasticity, brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself, form new connections, and adapt to challenges. While neuroplasticity does decline with age, it doesn't disappear. Engaging in mental exercises, social interaction, and physical activity can help preserve and even enhance cognitive function. However, chronic oxidative stress can damage neurons and disrupt this plasticity. Free radicals attack brain cells, leading to inflammation and contributing to neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and other dementias. Inflammaging also contributes by maintaining a low-grade chronic inflammation state that affects the brain's microenvironment, impairing communication between neurons and reducing the brain's ability to repair itself. Dr. Andrew Weil emphasizes the role of antioxidants in combating oxidative stress. Foods rich in berries, leafy greens, and nuts provide flavonoids and polyphenols that support brain health. Additionally, maintaining balanced blood sugar levels is crucial, as insulin resistance is linked to cognitive decline. Mr. Thompson's subtle forgetfulness can be likened to a cracked mirror distorting reflections of memories and thoughts. But just as a cracked mirror can be cleaned and repaired, the brain too can heal and adapt with mindful care. Have you ever wondered if those moments of forgetfulness are gentle messages from your brain, urging you to slow down, nurture your mind, and embrace lifelong learning? As we move forward, we will delve into another early sign of health decline, exploring how it manifests and what can be done to heal and renew. Ready for part 4? Picture Mrs. Garcia, a vibrant 75-year-old grandmother who has recently noticed that climbing stairs leaves her unusually breathless, and even simple errands feel exhausting. What once was effortless now demands extra effort, and she wonders if this fatigue is just part of getting older or something more serious. This persistent tiredness can be an early warning sign of declining cardiovascular health in older adults. Our heart and blood vessels undergo natural changes with age, including stiffening arteries and reduced cardiac output. But these changes can be accelerated by chronic inflammation. What scientists call inflammaging. This low-grade, persistent inflammation stresses the cardiovascular system, increasing the risk of heart disease, stroke, and other vascular problems. Oxidative stress further exacerbates this decline. Free radicals damage the endothelial lining of blood vessels, impairing their ability to dilate and regulate blood flow. Antioxidants, found abundantly in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, play a vital role in neutralizing these harmful molecules and protecting cardiovascular health. Neuroplasticity also links to cardiovascular well-being, as a healthy heart supports good blood flow to the brain, essential for maintaining cognitive function. Dr. Andrew Weil highlights the importance of lifestyle choice, regular exercise, stress management, and a balanced diet in preserving heart health. He advises limiting foods that promote inflammation, such as processed meats, refined sugars, and trans fats, and instead focusing on anti-inflammatory foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Mrs. Garcia's breathlessness can be seen as a warning light, a flickering beacon on the dashboard of her body, signaling the need for attention and care. By tuning into these signs, she can take steps to strengthen her heart and restore vitality. Have you ever noticed subtle signals like unexplained fatigue or shortness of breath, whispering to you that your heart needs more care and compassion? As we continue, we will explore yet another early sign of health decline and uncover strategies for healing and renewal. Certainly. Here is part 5 of the podcast script. Imagine Mr. Thompson, an 80-year-old retired teacher, sitting quietly by his window, reflecting on the changes in his memory and mood. He finds himself forgetting familiar names and feeling unusually anxious or withdrawn. These mental and emotional shifts can be among the earliest signs of cognitive decline and emotional distress in older adults. Cognitive resilience relies heavily on the brain's neuroplasticity ability to form new neural connections even after the age of 70. However, chronic oxidative stress and systemic inflammation can impair this adaptability, leading to memory loss, decreased attention, and mood disorders such as depression and anxiety. Antioxidants and anti-inflammatory nutrients play a crucial role in supporting brain health. Foods rich in polyphenols, such as berries and dark leafy greens, help reduce oxidative damage and foster a healthy neural environment. Additionally, regular physical activity and mindfulness practices have been shown to enhance neuroplasticity and emotional well-being. Dr. Andrew Weil emphasizes a holistic approach to aging, encouraging older adults to nurture both body and mind. He quotes, "Healing is not just about curing disease. It's about restoring balance and harmony within." Mr. Thompson's experience reminds us that aging is not a passive decline, but an invitation to renewal. His mind, like a garden, needs tending, nourishment, and care to flourish anew. As we close this journey through the early signs of health decline, remember, aging is not a sentence, but a call to listen deeply to your body and spirit, to heal, and to embrace a richer, fuller life. If this message resonates with you, please share your story, join the conversation, and connect with others on this path. You are never alone in your journey toward healing and inner renewal. If you want, I can also provide the full combined script or translate it into Vietnamese.